Hi, everybody. June here from Red Daisy Crafts. It is not my usual time to be here, and I appreciate the extra grace for letting me make a change this week to my schedule. We had a little family gathering yesterday, and it was just nice that I could go on a Sunday and be with them. So today's a holiday. Happy Labor Day to everybody. And so I might be here crafting all by myself, but maybe a few will pop in. Maybe others are home and doing a little crafting and will pop in and join me. So I have a few just reminders and maybe some things to share. So I'm just getting myself situated. Of course, the time came on rather quickly, and I wasn't entirely ready. Although I do have some things to share today. I am super excited about that, so apologize for me being distracted at the moment. But I do want to get a few things out while I am getting myself situated, and maybe that gives people a chance to find us and to join us for some fun today. So we are in a new subscription period for the oh dear, I guess this is the September paper pumpkin, which is the Fall for 12. And I have that here. I'm going to switch this around just to so that you can see what I am talking about. I see some people are finding us on our not so usual day. So here we go. I hope the light is fine. It looks kind of funny on my screen, but a lot of times that is just how it looks on my screen. So let's just see. Hopefully it's not too dark. And I'm gonna turn off that. My phone just ringing in the middle, and so we will get started. So just again, reminder, we are in the September subscription period. This paper pumpkin is called Fall for 12. It coordinates with a new suite that is going to be available, I believe, tomorrow. Or maybe it's available today. I can't remember the date that it goes live, but it's very soon. And that coordinating set is called Autumn 12 in the fall winter holiday mini catalog that comes out and is effective in September. So that paper pumpkin matches up with that. Here are some of the products shown here. I think it came in my box, but I haven't opened it up yet. So I'm excited to be able to share that. Or did I bring it and show you guys already? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I'm so lost. I'm all out of my normal behavior this week. So that will end on September 10th. So you got about 9 days left for that. This is the die set that is, I believe, still available. Circle of Seasons add-on dies. And that will, once they're sold out, they're gone. So be sure and get them if you want them. They're a really great set of dies. And so I hope that you will take advantage of that. All right, so we are going to be playing again this week with the Farmhouse Florals. These are the beautiful stamps that are available in this kit. You got 2 stamp sets. I actually have 2 of these available if anybody missed getting the kit with the stamps. You can reach out to me directly, and I would love to help you get them in your hands. I have 2 available. So please let me know about that. And so let's just take a peek. So these are the cards that the kit was intended to make. And I'm just going to do some adjusting here because I see that I am not in my usual spot. And that computer is hogging up my space. All right, so here we go. So these are the cards the kit was intended to create, and they are beautiful all on their own. If you have not seen this kit in person, it is really well made. So many beautiful pieces, and the artwork and everything are just gorgeous. You really can make these as is and just be so delighted from that. But you know, of course, we always like to have alternates, right? And so we have been making a few here the last week or so. And so we made this one last week, and this one as well. And this is a little bit of a different fold. And then we made this one as well. So we have only really played with this kit for 1 week. And so this is our 2nd week to get into it. And so I am going to put these out of the way, and we are going to dig in. So one of the things that I have shared before is that there is a coordinating set of papers. I think it's called the Painterly Pear Suite, and those papers really create a beautiful coordinating flower that is in these papers. And so you do have some other options to bring in some additional flowers. And so I have some of those papers here for us to play around with. Not sure if I'm going to need that or not, but here we go. We are going to use we are going to create a little, I don't know, my brain is not working very well for me to be able to tell you exactly what kind of card this is, but we are going to create this card. It doesn't have the typical fold, nor is it the usual size. So let me just tell you that this card base is 7 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and it is scored at 3 inches. So this flap here is just 3 inches. And I do have a piece of DSP that came from the Painterly Pears DSP pack that we're going to use with it. And this piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So that is just going to be put on the front of here. And then I do have a die cut, and I am totally blanking on what dies this came from. Oh my goodness. Is this, I think this is with the bees. No, that was the hexagon. My brain can't think today. I will have to find it and put it in the description. By the way, the description has nothing in it because I was so late. And so I have to fill all that in anyhow. But this little piece here, you could literally make a rectangle here, you know, and do a similar piece. You do not have a die. I'm going to put it on here. But this little piece is running approximately 4 1/4 inches. And it is about 2 1/4 inches wide. So we're going to put that on here, and then we're going to use our little tote bag that comes in the kit, and we're going to add that on the front with some flowers. And I have these other pieces here in case I think I need some additional flowers. Now this piece is going to go on the inside of here, and I do want to do some stamping. So I have my stamps here, and I'm going to grab my foam mat if I can find it, because as I said, I am just out of sorts here. And oh, here it is. It's buried. It's buried. Okay, so we have this. All right, so we're going to just dive right in, and let me grab some of my blocks out of my bag that I keep handy, and I want to use that stamp that has the eyelet design on it, and I know, yeah, this is the block I want. So let me just get some blocks out because I know I'm going to want them while I am here. And sorry that we're just a little bit out of norm. So let me just get a few things out. So here we go. But what is there ever a time that you are in your craft room and things are just swift and everywhere you look, you find what you need? So no, I don't know about you, but that's not usually the case. So what I want to do is I want to add the eyelet across here, and I'm going to use the back side of this as runoff, so that we can make sure that we are not getting our pad here all messy. So where is my ink spot? Here we go. All right, so again, this kit had the gorgeous Secret Sea ink spot in it, and we're going to continue to use that. Even though I did consider a change, but I just think that this is so pretty. So we are just going to line this up, and I'm trying to get it as straight on that edge as possible. So I am going to now ink up again, and we're going to continue on this edge, just trying to line it up as best as we can, to continue that pattern. Okay, so hopefully I got that in the right spot. Looks like it. Now I am going to do just one more. We're just going to ink up this little edge right here, so that I can continue that pattern right off the edge of the card base. Okay, and then I will show you what that looks like. So there you have that. That is the edge, and I just love that. It's kind of like just a little eyelet trim, and that's what's going to be seen on the outside of this card base whenever we are complete with this card. So I'm just going to stick this over here. Now we are going to have this bag is going to go on here, and we're going to have this little strap poking up in the background. And so I do want to bring in something for a sentiment, and I am trying to decide what I want. So I think I have some of my sentiment labels still in the box here. So let's see, because I think what I want is this little tag that this little tag here. So it's going to need a very small sentiment to go on there. So let's see what we have. I think the thank you is too big. You are loved, for you. That might be the best one. It's simple. We've done just a note a few times. Let's do for you. And you know what? We're going to add a little flower to that space, just for fun. So here is our For You. So we'll have that. And then I'm going to grab this little flower here. All right. And we are going to just stamp right while the tag is in this little piece of paper. And then we will pop it out. So we're going to put the For You closer to the hole, and I'm just trying to make sure I can see this very well. Okay, and so we have that. Now the flower, we're going to see if we can just put one right in that corner there, and I like that. I like it. Okay, so that's our little tag that we have there. And so I'm just going to pop that out. I have a little frog in my throat. All right, I'm going to keep my little labels handy for now. And I'm thinking, I wonder if I would like to put a couple of those little flowers on here. Let's see, because I think this is how this is going to end up being. Now I can move that up just a tad like that. So maybe we add a couple of these little flowers. Maybe we put one down here, and we add one right here, and then maybe we'll put one right next to it, kind of like that. All right, I think that just gives a little bit of extra interest, and even a place if we wanted to add a couple of gems to go with it, just to keep it simple. Now we're going to add this to here, and we're going to use some of the where is it? I have it here. A little bit of the linen thread that came in the kit to do that, but we're going to add it with a glue dot instead of adding it with like tied on to the bag. Okay, so we are going to do that. All right, so I am going to just go ahead and take off, let's see, because I think I'm going to do a little bit of a kind of a double bow. So I'm getting about 20 inches of the twine. So let me just find my scissors here. Hopefully I'm now always going, oh, I hope I get the right pair of scissors so that they cut instead of me trying to hack my way through some of these ribbons. I need to mark them because that would be the smartest thing. All right, so I am just gonna make a little bit of a floppy kind of bow here, and that is what's gonna hold our little tag onto the bag. So I'm just playing around with this a little bit. Hopefully you can see it since I have that little gray pad behind me here, and it didn't fade into the paper because it's pretty light. So we're just gonna leave the tails until we tie all this together, and or tack it all down. So there we go. All right, so let's figure out, we're gonna put a sentiment on the inside of here to go with our card. And so let's see, I like to grab a Post-it note to determine how far or where my sentiment needs to be on here in order for it to stay hidden. So let me scoot this up a little because I see I'm a little bit out of frame. All right, so that's where we want that to go. And then This is the edge. All right. And so now I know I need my sentiment to be centered right there. So let's pick what we're going to do. Outside we have for you. And I think I want this one about friendship here. I think that that will work out fine. Yes, it's not too big. And I don't know. I think that's too small. All right, so we are gonna grab this block, and this says, "Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear." Just love this sentiment. I definitely think I want to keep it around because I think I could send a card like that quite often, you know? It's a rare thing when you find somebody who can just listen, right? Because half the time that's all we want is for somebody to listen. We don't really need them to solve a problem. And we just instantly want to go into problem solving mode, don't we? All right, so that's that. And I am also thinking how I would love to maybe add a little floral or flourish at the bottom of here. So I am also going to stamp using that long stem of flowers. That is one of the stamps in here, like so. So let's just grab that right here. And we are going to add that right here, like so. And then because we can, I am going to just turn it a little bit and do it a second time and use that stamped off ink so that we get like that little flourish there. So hi everybody, thanks for joining. I was so busy paying attention, I didn't notice I actually had somebody watching. So please, I would love to know where you're watching from. If you can leave me a comment, I would love that. I know it's not my usual time, so I'm grateful that I have a few people joining me. All right, so this is going to go on the inside of our card base, which our card base is petal pink. And as I was saying earlier on, the measurements are a little bit different. It's 7, I think I said 7 and let's see. It is 7 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's scored at 3 inches. Okay. And then we have a piece of the Painterly Pear DSP that we're using on here. And that piece is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. So that's what we have so far. And so this is how it looks right here. I'm just loving this. Perfect. All right. So then I had this little, I still can't think of what these are called. I don't know. I give up. We are going to add our little purse, tote bag, whatever you want to call it, flower pot. We're going to add that to the front of here. And right now I'm just going to kind of get things lined up where I want them. Okay. And so we are going to have this piece coming out the back. All right. And trying to figure out where it is. We're going to have these things popping up, but they're going to get covered up with some flowers. So you're not going to see those pieces coming up. But instead of doing dimensionals and adding this to the front of the bag, we're going to use it behind the bag. So I want to just get this lined up the way that I want it for here. Okay. And just playing around with this. I think that's right. That's right where I want it. Right there. I got a little extra glue coming out, so I'm trying to get rid of that. Again, it's going to get covered up, but this is how it's going to go onto that piece. Hey, Wanda. Thanks for joining. It's so great to have you today visiting, and I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend, did something fun with family. And so this is going to go here. We're going to add this little sentiment coming off of this tote like so. We're going to just add the little bow right on top of there. So I am going to use some of my tear and tape because I still haven't found my, well, I shouldn't say I haven't found them because I know I could go grab some, but I haven't gone to grab any extra glue dots. I just keep using what's here with my tear and tape. So I am going to just add that right there, and then we're going to roll up a piece of tear and tape and use it like a glue dot. So for the back of that bow. So I'm just rolling that up on my finger, and I'm going to grab a hold of that adhesive, and we're just going to add that right in that hole. So that is the piece there. I mean, we get a lot of this tear and tape inside of these kits now. I don't know how to use it all. So we definitely want to be able to use it. So that's that. All right. So we're going to have that piece. I am going to go ahead and put our piece down so that then we can build our bag on top of here. I have been just trying to decide if I have some little extra flakes of paper from the die cut. I'm just scraping them off. Sometimes I don't know if that happens to you, but little fibers are there. So let's go ahead and glue this down. I have been trying to decide if I use dimensionals, but to be honest, I don't. If you've been around me long enough, you know that I don't like to you know, create things that require a lot of extra postage. So I just try to be careful of that. All right, so let's see here. I think that's pretty straight and centered on here. Oh, I got a little bit of glue. Where is my glue eraser? There we go. This is the handiest thing ever. If you don't have that, you need it. All right, so now this is going to get put on with some dimensionals. All right, and so let's go ahead and grab some here. So I am going to put 2 at the bottom of this like so. And I'm just going to stick 1 right here because I want to be able to layer in my flowers wherever I want them. Okay, so we're just going to start with this for now, and then we will add the flowers. All right, and I want that to be moved over just a tad. There we go. All right, so that's what we have so far. Now we're going to add in our flowers. And like I said, there's some mini, okay, I was going to say, I know I have mini dimensionals out here. All right, so let's see. We can add some of the yellow flowers, and I have this one that I could put down inside there. And we don't have to do a lot. We can just add these down here, and that might be all we need. I think I like that, just having just a few. I like bringing in the Calypso Coral one up there just because it brings all the tones of the Petal Pink and the Calypso Coral and this DSP together. And so I think that's what we're going to do. So we are going to put this down with some glue. All right, so getting my little glue out. That is getting to the end, of course. All right, so we're just gonna put this one right down there, there behind our little bag. Now, I wanted to cover these up, so maybe we will add one more, because if I put this over here, and then add these, or do I want this? Let's see. Maybe we do need all of these. And then I could cut one out of here to go at the bottom. That's what we're going to do. All right, so glad I had my little extra flower paper out here. Tried to keep my little scraps so that I could use any extra little flowers that were left on here. So we're going to fussy cut one out to go on here. Oh, I'm going to have to come back and trim. I can't get that little green off of there. And then we will get this put together. I forgot I wanted to hide those little straps in the back. So that was necessary. All right, so let's now get this little green edge off of here. Like that. So is anybody doing anything fun this Labor Day weekend? We went to visit family yesterday, and usually that means there's something good to eat. I don't know about y'all, but usually that's the case. And we had, I guess, pork sliders. It's what you would call that. They were delicious. And my sister-in-law always makes potato salad, and I don't like onions, and so she always makes me my own special batch of potato salad. I just love that. She's so sweet. All right, so I think I'm going to put these down with some glue, just so that we can get a little bit of extra layer dimensionals going on, and then we'll add this one with some dimensionals. All right, out here I'm going to turn it a different way so that the flower is, the leaves are pointing down compared to the other one. And then this little guy is going to get added with some glue at the bottom of the bag. Right down here. Did I still not get that trimmed right? Still showing. There we go. I think that's better. Yep. All right. So there we have it. What do you think? Just a cute little layout. I love the inside. And very, very nice. All right. Let's add some gems to this. Now I have these I've been using. I have the low profile sparkle dots, and I've been using the 2025 2027 in color flat pearls. Let's see here. What do we want? I think I'm going to use the low profile sparkle dots. I think we're going to add some of these tiny little yellow ones to the centers of the Secret Sea flowers. And that is going to, they're almost too big, but I kind of like that it's taking up the majority of that little flower. And we won't put one there. We'll leave that one alone. But there you have it. Very, very cute. Oh, thank you very much. Apple jelly. You've been making apple jelly. That sounds delicious. What kind of apples? Macintosh are my favorite apples, but we don't have them really here in Texas. That's from when I was living in New York as a child, but I still love them so much. Those are my favorite. Okay, you ready to move on to the next project? All right, so let's see, because I just have things randomly thrown over here that I put together. Let's do this one because I think it's kind of different. All right, so I did put one card together because I wanted to be able to show you both, and I didn't think we needed to make both together. So I'm just showing how you can take the crab apples. Oh, I bet that's so good. Aren't crab apples a little bit tart? Because that's partially what I like about the Macintosh. They are sweet and tart all at the same time. I think crab apples are tart. You have to let me know. All right, so what I did was I took the card base that had the typewriter, and I'm grabbing one so that I can show you what I am talking about. If I can get my fingers to work over here, because I am a little bit fumbling. Okay, so I took this card base and I cut that image down and basically trimmed it so that I had two different pieces. Okay, and you can do something like this if you put it in the right place. Okay, and it's also a way to kind of stretch the opportunity of that image. All right. And so here we have like a little bit of an easel card. Okay. So we just have a little part of the envelope that is used down here underneath at the bottom, did some stamping on it. I've brought in the basic beige ribbon, and let me see if I can tell you more. Because it is called the bordered ribbon. This is 163788. I think this is still available. However, it might be in the last chance list if it is. All right, and then inside we have this, just the Secret Sea as a layer with another piece of an envelope. Okay, or you could have used that plain card base inside your kit. And then I've used the floral stamp, the one that came in the extra stamp set across the bottom of here. And doesn't that look so pretty? And then added the flower. That's the backstop. So when you get the card, this is how it sets on the table. And it just says, just a note, you're simply the best. I just think this is so sweet. And I love how this came out. So I just thought to show you how I'm doing this is, oh yeah, you're right. That's what I thought. You cannot just eat them. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted because I love apples. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this other one because you have to lay it out differently, okay? And so you want to make sure that you're not putting this here, because then the typewriter looks like it got cut in half. When you put it over here on this side, it looks more like it's just off the table. And so it's a very different effect. All right. So we are going to make this card. All right. And so I have my cardstock cut, but I haven't scored anything because I wanted to do that together. And so we are going to score our cardstock at 2 1/8 is the first. Okay, so this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. That's the cardstock. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. All right, so we're scoring at 2 1/8, and then we're going to score again at 5 1/2. Okay, and I don't think I need my trimmer for anything else here. So I have a piece of cardstock. Well, this is a piece of the envelope that I cut. It's going to go. I might need to trim it because this doesn't look like that's. Oh, you know what? I did not score this in the right spot. I said 2 1/8, but that is not what I meant to do. So that's all right. We can still work with it. I may try to depress that. So I'm going to flip it over and just go over it lightly just to kind of push it back and kind of minimize that line. But what I want is half of 5 1/2. So that is 2 1/2 and 2 3/4. Okay, so 2 3/4 and 5 1/2 is what you're going to score at, not 2 1/8. That is the preferred. And you know what? We're going to add some twine to cover up that extra little score line, and that way there won't be any issues whatsoever. Okay, so now this piece fits right here. All right, and this again is a piece of an envelope. It's 4 inches by 2 1/2 inches. Okay, that is going to go right there. Now, where I cut the typewriter is a little, they're not the same size because as you can see on this image, we have these flowers that are coming off over here, and I wanted all the flowers, and this side does not have as many flowers coming out to this side, but I still cut the typewriter in half. Okay, but it meant this one was bigger, okay, wider than this one. All right, and so that's the difference of what I did. All right, so this piece ended up being 1 and well, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9/16. So it's like a 1/16 over a half inch. So 9/16. Okay. And then this one is 1. So that one was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13/16 is what this one is. And it is 1/8 of an inch past 1 3/4. All right, then this one is 4 1/8 inches tall, and this one is 3 7/8 inches tall. All right, so that is that piece, and then that can get centered on here with about 1/8 of an inch all the way around it. Okay, and then we have our inside layer piece. And this is just the standard 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then this piece, we're leaving a little bit extra border around it. So you have almost like 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So this piece is 3 3/8 of an inch by 4 5/8 of an inch. And that's what's going to go there. Okay. And I'm going to turn it this way because we have this little extra piece up here. And I don't want to try and tear it off of there. It's fine. But if it's up here, you can tell that there's a darker, you can see that extra layer under there because this paper is not as heavy because it's the envelope paper, right? But because it will be way up here at the top, nobody's going to notice it. So we'll stamp down here. So we have stamping to do. All right. So I'm going to set our card base aside for now. I'm going to grab our foam mat, put this over here. We have these extra pieces out here that we are not going to be using at the moment. And we have our stamping to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this piece first while I am thinking about how it needs to be laid out. So I am using that flower piece that is in the additional stamps that we got. And we are going to just mount that up. So I'm going to ink this up, but I am only going to stamp like a little bit at the bottom of this. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. All right. So I am inking up the whole thing. I don't really need to, but I also don't know exactly where I'm going to stop. And so I am just bringing this in. Now, if you can see this stamp right here, let me show you. See that flower right there? That is what I want to be at the edge of my paper. All right, so let me just huff on there because I've been carrying this stamp around. I want to get it all the way to the edge so that we are getting the image all the way to the edge. All right, so that's how that looks. Okay, and then we are going to just stamp this up because now I kind of know I don't need the whole thing. And now I am going to continue with that same thought process. All right, and I'm just lining up that little flower at the edge of the paper. And so now we have that. All right, and then we're going to do one more over here on this side. And I am imagining where this paper lines up so that I am continuing that same design. Okay, I got it a little lower than I intended, but that's okay. Now I am going to just stamp this, ink this up one more time, and I'm going to come on this side and I'm just barely going to get that flower on the edge of there. So just like so. So you can see just a little bit of ink is there on the edge, just so that it looks like a continuous image, okay, across the bottom of there. This one could have been up a little bit higher. It's okay how it is because you don't want it to look repeated so much. But I do think I did mine a little bit higher on the original, but that's okay. It's still serving its purpose. Okay. So let's get that. All right. Now on this piece, we're going to come across here with the eyelet stamp. Okay. And again, we're probably going to have to line this up once, at least once. So I'm going to just do my best here to get this as straight as I can. All right. And then we are going to line it up on this side, like so. And there we go. So we have that piece. All right. Then we're going to add the flower stem that we've used already. And that is what we kind of put the bow on. looks like it's sort of, you know, tying all of the stems of flowers together. All right. Now we could do here like we did on the other one. We can add in a little more just to see what we think about that. And to be honest, I wanted this on the other side because that is where our typewriter is going to go. All right, so I'm just not going to worry about it. I am going to now bring this over here like so, and we are going to just stamp down like that. And then I'm going to come up a little bit and go right there. All right, so we're going to just see how that goes, but this is what we have so far. All right. So a little bit different than what we had before. Okay. And then up here, I have put just a note. So let me grab that. But what other things do I have? Could we put on there? What is this? Forever your friend. Let's do that just to change it up. Forever your friend. Okay. And we're going to put that up here on this side of the top. All right. I want it right at the tip top. So hopefully my head is not in that image. And you can see how that came out. So this is what we ended up with. All right. And I'm loving this, actually. I think that came out so nice. All right. So now we have on the inside here, we have You're Simply the Best. So if I have Forever Your Friend, what can I put on the inside? Always Here For You. I think I like that. I think I like that for the inside. Always here for you. So let's do that inside. And maybe we'll add some other little flowers up here. Always here for you. Keep this little sentiment's kind of curled, going in a lot of directions. And so I'm like, which way am I supposed to go with it? Is the always supposed to be straight? Is the U supposed to be straight? I think it's whatever you want it to be honest. But we are going to get a couple of these little flowers and add them to this. All right, so we are going to go this way here. I think that's perfect. I think that's all I want. So that'll be the inside of our card. That is one of the things I'm loving the most about this kit, is that we have inside and outside stamps that all coordinates so nicely. All right, let's fold our card base. All right, and so let me get my foam folder, move those out of the way. All right, and now let's fold this on the right line here. So that's that. And I'm just going to add some twine. So let me make sure I have it handy. All right, so inside here, we're going to put down the piece of Secret Sea. Let's see, does this one have any more? I think it does. I haven't put this back in my little travel glue kit that I take to club with me. I need to put it back in there. All right, so we have the Secret Sea, and then this piece is going to go right on top of there. It's so great, isn't it? I love how this looks so much. It is beautiful. Such a happy surprise when you open the card. Yes. Okay. So you can see there. You can see that edge up there, but we're not going to worry about that. All right. So now down here, I want where I had that wrong score line, and you can see it kind of, which is why we're going to do this. We are going to just bring this down, and we are going to add some linen threads. So let's see here. I have 16 and let's see, that would be 24. I have 24 inches I'm cutting off. All right. And I'm going to just uncurl this so that I'm just wondering if I can get this around twice. Should have just not cut it yet. Oh, maybe we can if I do this little bit. Okay. Oh, nice. You have to be able to work with a small amount of twine here, but I think I can do it for the bow. Oh, perfect. Well, that just came out perfect. Could not have asked for that to be easier. All right, so that is just going over where that little score line was, and now there is no question for it. All right, and this piece is going to go right in here. So, and I should have put this down first, but we're going to make it work. So let's see, I'm going to put glue on this side, and then I'm going to slip this in because we have to do everything the hard way today. All right, so now I am going to put my top down. And so now that's going to be glued down there. And then I'm going to hook this up, and I'm going to just put some glue on the edge of here. And that's all I'm going to need to tack that down. There we go. All right, so that's our front. And I love that I have this little bow coming off of here. And now we are going to adjust that because we can. All right, so I'm going to bring this over, and you know what? I'm probably not going to worry about that score line because now that I'm seeing all of this, I really want this to be down here. Aligned with that eyelet trim, and instead of the bow with the basic beige, I think I am really loving this linen thread better for what we have here. Okay, and so we're gonna go with that for now. All right, now let's put this piece together. So let's just glue this together. You know, it's always fun to design on the go. That's how I roll. If you've been around for a while, I just kind of like go with what moves me in the moment. I do plan for a lot of things, but a lot of the time it doesn't work out, or I decide something different. So now you can see here how these go. All right, so now this typewriter is on that side of the card, and this is how doing this works, okay? And so we're going to have that here, all right? And it's okay that that was there. It's just behind there. It isn't doing or hurting anything, but we're gonna add some dimensionals at the bottom of here, okay? So I'm just going to add them at the bottom, and that's going to go right below the linen thread. on here, okay? And then I'm going to grab my sticky note that I had already used earlier, and I'm going to just tack it on there because this tells me where I need my dimensionals to go on the back side of here, so that they are not falling off of the page. Okay, so that when we tip it up, the easel card, when we tip that up, it's all going to work out. Okay. All right. So let me move this out of the way for now. And I'm laying this down. I want my glue dots to go right at or the dimensionals, I should say. I want them to go right at the linen thread. I think that's right. And there we go. All right. So now we have to figure out our easel, but this is how this looks now. So cute. I love it. All right, so we have a couple of things. I did bring in some flowers that we could add. I could even pop them up here if I wanted. I kind of like adding them down here. And then doing what I did on the other one is adding some gems up here to, add to that. And so let me grab some of these little mini dimensionals and add them here. And if I place these right, they will not cause extra postage because they are still going to just be one layer of dimensional when you put it in the envelope. Okay, so it'll all lay down when it goes through the machine, because that's the issue at the post office. It's when it goes through the machine that it creates that extra postage. All right, so we're not going to use the basic beige ribbon on this. Okay, we have our added little flowers. Now let's see here. On this one, I added these little gems at the top. See them on there? And I love how that looks. So I definitely think I want to do the same thing over here. And I used these Timid Tiger. What are these again? Flat pearls. All right. So let's just see if I can get my little tool to work. Ah, good job. And I just added them on top of these little daisies. Oh, so cute. So cute. All right, so there is our two cards, right? Very fun. Or like this. And they are going to prop up like that. So now I need a flower on the inside of here to prop this little guy up. And you know what? I'm going to grab this one right here because I love that this one is the Calypso Coral and the Petal Pink colors. And it's a little bit of a bigger flower. So I am just going to trim this off of here. Get as close as I can to this without changing it up too much. My eyes are not as good as they used to be, especially when these tone on tone colors are together. So that's what we end up with. Okay. And let me grab a dimensional for this. And I love that this is kind of a bigger flower. All right, so that one is there. And so we're just going to add this one right there. And now this card also stands up just like so. Oh my gosh, I just love these. They came out so cute. So those are the cards that we have. Now I I see the time, so I'm going to stop because we've already been here an hour. And I do have a couple of cards already made for next week. So I will hold those for next week. And I also have one little 3D item that I thought I would also create. So I think I will just stop here and hold those for next week. So thank you so much for accommodating the change today. And I hope that you enjoy these ideas and will, when you come back and you're watching the replay, just leave me a comment. Tell me you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And thanks, Wanda, for joining me. And thank you to all of you who have joined me. I hope you like the projects, and I will see you next Sunday. We'll be back at the regular time, Sunday at 4 p.m. Central, and I will see you then. Bye, everybody.